My question is, in light of the recent controversial proposed sale of the Glen Valley forested lands, the proposed redevelopment of Creekside Forest in Aldergrove, and in light of the report in the Langley Times this spring that Township staff was preparing an inventory of lands to be sold, my question is two parts. Would you support releasing that report to the public when it becomes available? And do you think that our natural heritage, our publicly owned natural heritage, should be sacrificed for modern infrastructure or amenities?
Thank you very much. And the first one to Patricia.
Hi, Patricia Lassard. Basically, what I think we need to have is we need to have an inventory of all township properties, all of them, and it should be readily available for everyone to view. Then with public consultation, we can work together of determining what properties that we may want to sell, an asset for an asset. So that basically an inventory of properties is definitely needs to be made so that we all in the township know what we own.
Okay, thank you very much. We're not on the just 4 people anymore now because we've just extended the time. So I'm going to go to a few more. So we have Kevin, did you put your hand up? Kevin? And then Katrina, there's somebody before you, Kim, actually. And then it's going to be Solon, Rick, and Kim. And Dave. Sorry, Dave, yeah, you earlier.
Kevin Mitchell, I asked the question of a councillor what the purpose of selling the lands were. And they said it's to fund public projects. I said, okay, so I can give up, let's call it $36 million worth of public land in exchange for a pool. Is that a fair trade? Most people would say no, because you can't replace the land. So once the land is gone, it's gone for good. Now, some would argue, I want my pool, I want my infrastructure, I want my whatever, I'm willing to give it up. Well, I can tell you right now, maybe not our generation will suffer, but others will. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kim?
Oh, okay. Yes, the report should be released. This is public lands. We all own it. We should have a say on whether or not it's sold. Not quite the same for buying land. I think we have to keep that under wraps, but selling land should be public knowledge. And as to your second question, with regards to protecting the natural environment, that's what's made Langley so beautiful for so long. Of course it should be protected, and we need to do a better job of that.
Okay, thank you very much. Dave Stark next before you guys. Sorry, I missed Dave's hand there.
Thank you, Dave Stark. No, I don't think we should ever sacrifice our natural resources, streams, natural forests and areas. I was involved with saving McClellan Park in Glen Valley because we live there. I was so pleased to be part of that community group that fought against the township, and we managed to save that land. The issue was the time and money and cost and frustration from community and everybody involved that didn't need to happen. Yes, we need to consult with the communities regarding properties that the township owns. I also believe that the township can do a better job at managing its assets, which is that management, that real estate portfolio. Thank you.
Dave. Next one, Spun, and then Rick.
This issue really hits home. I grew up down the street from McClellan Park. I was an original proponent of saving those lands, and you as a community were not informed when they started disposing of those lands. Langley is land rich and often cash poor. But if we dispose of our assets of tangible value and irreplaceable value, our short-term gains will result in our long-term failures as a community of value, livability, and sustainability. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Go next. No, Rick, next, please.
Thank you. In 2008, I ran on the issue of, one of the issues was the Dixon Pit property. Some of you may remember it. And it was sold off at pennies on the dollar, in my opinion. Yes, that report should be released immediately. And we do have, and I initiated it, a public record of all properties owned by the township. You, the taxpayers, own about $500 million worth of property, and we've got to protect it as much as we possibly can. Selling it for capital projects is insane. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott Nichols.
Scott Nichols. The report in regards to the land should be released as soon as it's available. The trouble we have is the minute that the Township Council starts talking about releasing lands is they invoke the Section 9 of the Charter and bring it and quiet down the meeting so nobody can get in and listen on what's happening. That just goes to the transparency of the current council. We have to have transparency in relation to anything that we are going to dispose of.
Thanks, Petrina. Next.
As one of the founding members of Wolf, I know that a community came together to save an extraordinary piece of property in the Glen Valley that the township had no business to sell without any consultation, no appropriate vetting. There's no best management practices going on here. I think it is shameful that these discussions take place behind closed doors. This land belongs to us. It is our future, our legacy. And I think what needs to happen is we need to have a reconsideration of the way that we deal with land sales. So I certainly would be in support of having any kind of an inventory go forward.
Thank you. Jack.
Well, thank you very much. Land sales and land purchases are very complex. First of all, parks are protected in legislation. They cannot be sold. It's extremely difficult to sell a park, and that's a designated park. I'm really happy with that. The land down at Glen Valley that Wolf was formed and came forward. And you say you fought Township Hall or you lobbied Township Hall, but I think it was fantastic that we as council listened and we made some good decisions. And there's 50 acres. Well, it didn't happen without council decision. This can't happen on its own. So it has to be together. And council now can say there's 50 acres of park in Glen Valley that wasn't there before. So I just want to say it's complex. There is lands that we do have that we have to sell sometimes, like road allowances or lots that aren't being used.
Thank you,
I don't think you want to
Jack.
keep all of those.
On the right.
Sorry. Yeah. Trying to make up for all my lost time.
I realize that.